Once in a Lifetime, Chapter 18. It took a few seconds for Dr. Thomas's words to sink in. When they did, I asked one of the most boneheaded questions I'd ever asked. Are you sure? I'm sure, he chuckled. He spent the next couple of minutes going over some of the same details we already discussed. When he asked if I had any more questions, I said almost something as silly as my first question. Will having only one kidney impact my ability to have a normal sex life and conceive children when I get married? My question must have caught him off guard because he didn't answer right away. Oh, trust me, you'll be able to do everything you do now. I thought I already made that clear. I'm sure you did. But there is so much to remember, I guess I forgot that part. He made a few more remarks before he hung up. When I put the phone down and stood up from the couch, I felt lightheaded. Knowing that I was a match put a different spin on things. Up until now, giving up one of my kidneys had only been a possibility. Now it was a reality. Excuse me. I was about to give away a part of my body that I could never get back. Judith didn't answer her phone when I called her, so I spent the next hour calling everybody else I knew to share my good news. Well, I have to cancel the cruise your daddy and me were going to go on tomorrow, Mama told me. You'll do no such thing. Before they do the surgery, the final approval has to come from the Human Tissue Authority and the entire transplant team has to be available. Dr. Thomas said the surgery will take place either in April or March. There is no reason for you and Daddy to cancel your cruise. Baby, we don't want you to be alone on the holiday with a surgery hanging over your head, Mama boomed. We can always go on a cruise. Then go this time. If you cancel this close to the departure date, you'll lose all of your money. Besides, if I decide to do something else on Christmas Day, two of my co-workers invited me to have dinner with them. It was only a few minutes past 6:30 p.m., and I was so antsy I had to get out of the house. Without giving it a second thought, I decided to visit Ronald. He looked extremely excited to see me. You're a sigh for sore eyes. I was just thinking about you. Dr. Thomas told me the great news about the results of your test. I plan to give you a call tomorrow, he said as he struggled to sit up. I stopped by the side of his bed and gently took his hand in mine. I was amazed at how warm he felt. I can't tell how happy I was when he called me. I'm sorry to be coming here so late, but I had to, I said. Vanessa, it's never too late for you to come see me. Visiting hours at this hospital are 24 hours per day. I know, but I still didn't want to come so late. I drove at breakneck speed to get here before it got any later. I wish I had decided to come before I got on the phone and started calling people to let them know. I've been over the moon since Dr. Thomas called me up this evening. I was feeling so giddy I couldn't stop grinning and holding his hand. In an odd tone, I continued, if I had received my passport in time, I'd be in Paris at this very moment. Ronald gave me a tight smile and a weak nod. What he said caught me off guard. My knees almost buckled. Your first trip to Paris will be on me. First class all the way. My breath caught in my throat, and I blinked at him a few times. I could feel sweat oozing from my body. so I moved my hand away from his. I didn't care if he was serious or not. His offer made my day. I was so elated I wanted to dance a jig. I managed to remain composed. I'm going to hold you to that. I laughed and I was glad she did too. Ronald sat up straighter and gave me a pensive look. Vanessa, I know I've already thanked you, but I wanted to thank you again. I was about to hold his hand again when I heard a commotion behind me. When I whirled around, I was glad to see Judith, but shocked, and I had to admit, though, I didn't know why, disappointed to see Jan with her. Vanessa, I'm so glad to meet you, Judith hollered. Dr. Thomas told me the wonderful news. I left you a message a little while ago. She scurried over to me and gave me a hug. When she released me, Jan, this is Vanessa Hayes, the beautiful woman I told you about. I'm so happy to meet you, Jan squealed. She grabbed my hand and shook it so hard my arm ached. I heard so much about you. I'm happy to finally meet you too, I managed. So you're Ronald's friend. I couldn't bring myself to say fiance because I had no idea what the status of their relationship was now. She didn't waste any time clearing that up. Actually, I'm his fiance, she declared with what looked like a smirk on her face. Oh, yeah, I mumbled. When I saw that Ronald looked even happier, I felt better about Jan's appearance. She abruptly turned from me and hovered over his bed, smoothing his hair back with her hand. Honey, I was ecstatic when I heard the news that they finally found a match. Just as abruptly she turned her attention back to me. I hope you don't change your mind. I thought that was an airheaded comment for her to make after all I've been through. Change my mind? Why would I do that? Well, my understanding is that they won't do the surgery until sometime next year. A lot can happen between now and then. Are you married or do you have a significant other? What if your relatives talked you out of going through with it? You don't have to worry. Nobody is going to talk me out of anything, I said firmly. Jan gave me a guarded look, but she didn't say anything else on the subject. She hovered over Ronald even more and started caressing the side of his face. Now we can still enjoy Christmas like we planned. I'm going to prepare a feast and bring you a nice plate. Paul will be home from school and he'll be joining Judith at my house with my family. I hope Vanessa will join us too, Judith tossed in. I was surprised, but I managed not to show it. How about it, Vanessa? I responded very casually. I'm sorry, but I've already made other plans. That's a shame, Jan said with a tight look on her face. I hope you'll have a very Merry Christmas, Vanessa, Ronald told me. It's a shame we can't all celebrate it together. I promise I'll come by at some point on Christmas Day, Ronald, I said. If I can't make it, I'll give you a call. His eyes lit up. That would be so nice. I'll be looking forward to it. From the corner of my eye, I saw that Jan's face looked even tighter. Like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Bye-bye.